The Red Sea, a vital artery of global trade, is awash in turmoil. At the heart of this crisis lies the Houthis, a militant group now designated as terrorists by the United States. Their attacks on commercial ships have sent shockwaves through the international community, threatening the delicate balance of power in the region and beyond. The Houthis, once dismissed as mere rebels, have evolved into a formidable force. They now possess advanced weaponry, some even produced domestically, and hold a strategic position in the Red Sea. The Red Sea, a narrow strait connecting Asia, Africa, and Europe, is a vital shipping route. It carries a significant portion of the world's oil, goods, and trade. The Houthis' attacks on commercial vessels in this region represent a grave threat to global commerce and stability. These attacks, often indiscriminate, have disrupted supply chains and raised alarm bells in capitals across the world. Understanding the Houthi crisis is not just about comprehending a regional conflict, it's about grasping the complexities of a globalized world. To understand the crisis in the Red Sea, we must first understand the Houthis. Formerly known as Ansar Allah, they are a Shia Muslim group primarily based in Yemen. Their roots run deep into the fabric of Yemeni society, drawing strength from the Zaidi sect, an offshoot of Shia Islam. For decades they have been a marginalized group, their grievances against the Yemeni government and what they perceive as Western influence steadily growing. The Houthis' ideology is a complex mix of religious fervor, anti-Western sentiment, and a yearning for self-determination. They see themselves as protectors of Yemen, resisting what they view as foreign interference and corruption within the Yemeni government. In 2014, fueled by these grievances, the Houthis stormed the Yemeni capital, Sana'a, seizing control of the government. This act ignited a brutal civil war, pitting the Houthis against the internationally recognized Yemeni government, which is backed by a Saudi-led coalition. The Houthis, once dismissed as a ragtag militia, have emerged from this conflict as a surprisingly resilient force. Their ability to strike targets both within Yemen and in neighboring Saudi Arabia, using increasingly advanced weapons, has taken many by surprise. The Red Sea, a vital maritime route for global trade, has become a perilous battleground. The Houthis, emboldened by their battlefield successes in Yemen, have increasingly turned their attention to the maritime domain. Their weapon of choice attacks on commercial ships, sending shockwaves through the global economy and raising fears of a wider conflict. These attacks, often carried out with sophisticated weaponry, target vessels of various nationalities, disrupting the flow of essential goods and commodities. The Houthis justify these attacks as a response to the ongoing blockade imposed on Yemen by the Saudi-led coalition. Disruptions to global shipping lanes have cascading consequences, leading to increased insurance costs, delayed shipments and higher prices for consumers worldwide. The Red Sea is a critical choke point for global trade, and any disruption to this route sends ripples through the global economy. The United States, along with its allies, has condemned the attacks and increased its naval presence in the region in an attempt to deter further aggression. However, the Houthis have shown a willingness to challenge even the most powerful navies, raising the stakes and increasing the risk of a direct confrontation with unpredictable consequences. The Biden administration, inheriting the complex conflict in Yemen, initially sought to de-escalate the crisis and find a peaceful resolution. Recognizing the humanitarian catastrophe unfolding in Yemen, the Biden administration made a significant early move by revoking the Trump-era designation of the Houthis as a terrorist organization. However, the Houthis' continued attacks on commercial shipping in the Red Sea presented a significant challenge to the Biden administration's approach. The attacks, seen as a direct threat to global trade and security, forced the administration to reevaluate its strategy. In January 2024, after much deliberation and facing mounting pressure from international partners, the Biden administration designated the Houthis as a specially designated global terrorist group. This designation, while allowing for the continuation of humanitarian aid, granted the U.S. government additional tools to target the Houthis financially and militarily. It was a clear signal that the U.S. was willing to escalate pressure on the Houthis to cease their attacks and engage in meaningful peace talks. The Biden administration's response to the Houthi crisis reflects the complex realities of navigating international relations. It highlights the difficult choices that must be made when confronted with multifaceted conflicts with no easy solutions. The Biden administration's approach, characterized by a blend of diplomacy, sanctions, and limited military action, underscores the delicate balance that must be struck between pursuing national interests and upholding humanitarian principles. Section 5. Escalation, a rain of fire from the skies. As the Houthis continued their attacks, the situation in the Red Sea deteriorated. The United States, in coordination with its allies, particularly the United Kingdom, responded with a show of force. The skies above Yemen and the Red Sea lit up with the fiery trails of airstrikes, targeting Houthi military capabilities and infrastructure. These strikes, while intended to degrade the Houthis' ability to launch attacks, carried the risk of further escalation and civilian casualties. The US-led air campaign, while demonstrating a commitment to protecting international shipping, did little to deter the Houthis. The Houthis, using increasingly sophisticated weaponry, including Iranian-made missiles and drones, targeted US military assets in the region. In a brazen display of their capabilities, the Houthis even managed to down several US drones, raising concerns about the effectiveness of US military technology against the group's evolving tactics. Civilian casualties mounted as airstrikes targeted areas in close proximity to populated areas. The conflict, already a humanitarian disaster, spiraled further into chaos, with each attack pushing the hope for peace further out of reach. The escalating violence also underscored the limitations of military force in resolving complex conflicts, highlighting the need for a multifaceted approach that includes diplomacy, humanitarian aid, and a commitment to addressing the root causes of the conflict. Section 6. Trump returns, the Iron Fist. The return of Donald Trump to the White House in January 2025 marked a significant shift in U.S. policy towards the Houthi conflict. Gone was the cautious approach of the Biden administration, replaced by Trump's trademark brand of aggressive, no-holds-barred foreign policy. Trump, known for his disdain for multilateralism and his preference for unilateral action, wasted no time in putting his stamp on the U.S. approach to the Red Sea crisis. Trump, a staunch critic of the Iran nuclear deal and a vocal supporter of Saudi Arabia, viewed the Houthis as a direct proxy of Tehran. He saw the conflict in Yemen as part of a larger struggle against Iranian influence in the Middle East and vowed to take a hard line against the Houthis. Trump, true to his word, unleashed a wave of airstrikes against the Houthis, targeting their military infrastructure, weapons depots, and command and control centers. Trump's more aggressive approach, while intended to cripple the Houthis' ability to launch attacks, came with a significant increase in civilian casualties. International human rights organizations condemned the Trump administration for its disregard for civilian lives, accusing the U.S. of war crimes. The Trump administration's approach to the Houthi conflict, characterized by its aggressive military posture and disregard for diplomacy, further inflamed tensions in the region. Section 7. The Price of War. Casualties and Costs. The conflict in Yemen, now in its 11th year, has exacted a devastating toll on the Yemeni people. The United Nations estimates that over 233,000 Yemenis have died as a result of the conflict, with millions more displaced from their homes. The country, once teetering on the brink of famine, has been pushed into a full-blown humanitarian catastrophe, with widespread malnutrition and disease. The U.S. intervention in Yemen, while intended to protect international shipping and counter Iranian influence, has come at a steep price. The cost of the U.S. bombing campaign alone has exceeded $1 billion, with limited success in curbing Houthi aggression. The air campaign, while degrading some of the Houthis' military capabilities, has done little to address the underlying causes of the conflict. The human cost of the conflict is immeasurable. The U.S. airstrikes, while claiming to target military objectives, have resulted in numerous civilian casualties. The conflict in Yemen is a stark reminder of the devastating consequences of war, particularly for civilian populations. Section 8. A Sea of Uncertainty. Where do we go from here? As of April 2025, the Red Sea remains a volatile and dangerous region. The Houthis, despite facing relentless airstrikes and a crippling blockade, have shown no signs of backing down. Their ability to sustain their fight against a much stronger adversary is a testament to their resilience and their ability to adapt to changing circumstances. The Houthis continue to launch missile and drone attacks at a relentless pace, targeting both military and civilian infrastructure in Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates. The U.S. Navy, tasked with protecting international shipping in the region, finds itself stretched thin, struggling to counter the Houthis' evolving tactics and increasingly sophisticated weaponry. The situation in the Red Sea presents a strategic dilemma for the United States and its allies. The conflict in Yemen, once viewed as a peripheral concern, has morphed into a major security challenge, threatening global trade and destabilizing an already volatile region. The U.S. finds itself caught between its desire to counter Iranian influence and its commitment to protecting its allies in the region, all while trying to avoid a wider war. The path forward in the Red Sea crisis remains unclear. Section 9. Conclusion: a looming threat on the horizon. The Red Sea crisis, sparked by the Houthi rebellion in Yemen, has evolved into a complex and dangerous conflict with far-reaching implications. The Houthis, once dismissed as a ragtag militia, have emerged as a formidable force capable of challenging regional powers and disrupting global trade. The U.S., drawn into the conflict by its commitment to protecting its allies and securing vital shipping lanes, finds itself facing a strategic dilemma. The Red Sea crisis is a stark reminder of the interconnectedness of our world and the unpredictable nature of conflict in the 21st century. The international community must work together to find a lasting solution to the conflict, one that ensures the safety and security of all parties involved and prevents the crisis from spiraling further out of control.